This is a tier list of every single mech currently in Mech Arena ranked on my opinion of how strong they are. Remember, this list becomes less accurate over time as the game changes. This video was originally made in December 2025. Alright, here we go. First up is Aegis. Aegis is a tank mech. Aegis has a very strong ability. The Dome Shield allows it to protect itself and its teammates. The shield can be destroyed, but in general, it's really good cover. What makes it so strong is that you can place the cover wherever you want, right? You can take push areas with this, and you can help also defend your teammates at the same time because enemies can't shoot through the dome while you guys all can. Aegis is pretty weak against Revokers if Revoker scouts can get to it, but because it has this dome, nothing that's like long range anything can attack it very much. So it is very strong. I think that Aegis would be in the strong tier. It's not typically played in like top end hangers, but I think it's a little underrated. I might be a little biased, but I think Aegis deserves a strong tier in the A tier. Next up is Arachnos. Arachnos is one of the funniest mechs in Mech Arena, but sadly it is just not very good at all. Arachnos is very slow. It's very weak. Even for a rare mech, it's very squishy, and it has such low speed. The only redeeming factor for Arachnos is just that it has high energy capacity, but when you're as slow as Arachnos, this can't be a good mech. No mech that this slow without any movement ability or anything or any defense. It has no defense. Its turret, its ability is terrible, right? The only thing it has is just energy capacity, so it has firepower, but it has no defense or anything. Arachnos needs a buff. It's a rare mech. It should be better than it is, so please buff. There's really no reason to run this mech unless you got it for free maybe, or maybe for a little short time, but it's a terrible mech. Next up is Ares, which is another rare mech. This is the rare tank mech. Its ability is the wide shield, which is just a shield, and it's not really tanky enough to absorb much damage at all. Even the mech's HP isn't that high compared to most legendary mechs, right? It's not tanky enough to really be a tank, and other than that, it's slow, and it has just medium energy capacity. So Ares is only useful. It is good to get, but it's only useful in the early game, so it's going to go down here. I wouldn't invest into Ares at all. There's much better options. Literally, Aegis is an epic tank, which is obviously much stronger than Ares is. Next up is Brickhouse, the Chungus. So Brickhouse is a legendary mech. It is very slow. That's the main problem with this mech, is it's super slow, right? It has a damage boost, but the strongest thing it can do is boost its teammates' damage, and mechs that have to rely on their teammates typically aren't going to be very strong. The mech needs to be able to fend for itself, which this mech cannot do. Since Brickhouse is available for free to play, you could run this in the mid game, but honestly, it does need a buff, so I'm going to just put it in please buff. You could run it, but it's a legendary mech, so it has good HP. It does have good HP, but it's so slow that it's pretty much useless throughout the entire game. There's no real reason to use this, and for a legendary mech, it absolutely needs a buff. Next up is Cheetah. Cheetah is a epic mech with the mines that throws out mines that do good damage. However, the mines are pretty hard to hit, especially onto players with a lot of fast-moving mechs. They do kind of bypass some of the ML mods sometimes, which is nice. Cheetah has medium energy capacity and decent speed, but it is super squishy. I think Cheetah is okay for the mid game, right? It's not terrible. You can use it, but it doesn't have much defense, and its ability, it doesn't like destroy people instantly. So it's not very powerful, really. I wouldn't recommend using Cheetah very much at all. Next up is Deathwalker. Deathwalker is a legendary tank mech. Which it has the reanimate, so it places down a beacon, and then if it dies during its ability duration, it respawns with the same HP, so you can rush in, fully die, fully respawn with full HP. It has pretty high HP because it is a tank mech. It boosts its speed, so it gets like pretty good speed. It's not like crazy, but it is very high speed for a long time. It has a really long ability duration, and it has 32 energy capacity. This thing is stacked. It has good stats and a crazy ability. This is the meta. Deathwalker is a meta mech. It's absolutely worth investing into, and right now it's one of the top endgame mechs in the game. I would say there's potential that with the upcoming rebalances, we're going to see this thing get nerfed. So if you're watching this after the nerfs come out, right, just be careful of that. But this ability is so strong, and then it also has such good stats as well. Another legendary mech with good stats is Dreadnought. Dreadnought is a attacker mech, right? He has like the rockets that stun people like in a radius in front of him. He does have good speed. He does have good HP. He has good stats. He has heavy energy capacity. He's not that strong though. His ability in theory is good, but the reason is because the stun is so short that it doesn't help you that much. It's just 2 seconds of a stun. So it is a bit OP in the early and mid game where people have less mods, but when you fight against mods, this guy's not very strong. He's playable. Again, he's good stats, high energy capacity, but the ability's not that good. You refresh the ability when you get a kill with it, so that's more useful in early game, but again, in late game, you're not going to get as many kills with that ability. the ability is usually just going to go into a mod shield, which doesn't help you that much. Next up is Gatecrasher. Gatecrasher is a legendary attacker mech. This is one of the older mechs here. Gatecrasher has the Ion Pod, which Gatecrasher also has good stats. It has good speed, pretty good HP, heavy energy capacity. It's very good stat-wise, but its ability is terrible, sadly. The Ion Pod, in theory, you can like hit enemies through walls with it, for some decent damage. It basically shoots a beam through walls, or you can just attach it to enemies or teammates, and it will blow up and damage enemies. So it can do a little bit of damage. It does like bypass mods if you attach it to an enemy, which is a little bit nice, a little bit of tech, but the ability is really hard to hit because it fires slowly. It's not like crazy damage. It's not very good damage. So I would say Gatecrasher is probably playable, maybe even into the mid game. It's really not very good at all. Next up is Guardian, a rare mech, rare attacker. So what's nice about Guardian, it does have 32 energy. It's very slow, very squishy because it's a rare mech. It's just rare mechs just in general don't have very high HP. But Guardian has this system crash, which is a very powerful ability where you turn off all enemies. You put their weapons on reload and their abilities on cooldown. So you remove all of the things on the enemy mechs, right? They're very much in trouble. Basically, the reason Guardian isn't as strong as it used to be is because of Revoker, because Revoker never has to reload, and if Revoker gets close to you, you're gonna get shredded instantly, right? Your only chance is like basically with Stormax. Since you have high energy capacity, sometimes I can like kill a Surge with my Stormax before the Surge kills me with Revoker. But things like Surge and Eclipse just run up to you still. The fast mechs are still gonna catch up to you and kill you a lot of the time. I know Guardian is a fan favorite mech. I think it's playable even at endgame, because if you buy the system crash range implant, so you can crash up to 45 meters away, or like 42 meters at level 5, that's only like 600 A coins for the legendary implant. I think this guy becomes playable when you get that implant, which everyone can get very easily now. Next up is Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a uncommon tank mech, and Juggernaut, because it's uncommon, it just doesn't have high HP. It's very slow. Its shield is lower durability than Ares. It's less useful than Ares because it's like a personal shield, and it has even a longer cooldown, and this mech is super slow. Juggernaut's an early game mech. There's no reason to invest into it. There's literally Ares is a better option, and you get Ares like first 3 days of playing the game. Nobody should be using Juggernaut. It's just a bad mech. Up next is Hemlock. Hemlock is a legendary support mech with the ECM Daze. It dazes enemies from long range, which is a very powerful long range daze, and then an EMP stun is very strong. It is a support mech, but it still has good HP. It has really good HP for a support mech and really good speed. It only has medium energy capacity, but that is enough when you have a stun like that. I think Hemlock did just get nerfed, right? It's got a much longer cooldown and shorter duration, I think, as well. But I still think Hemlock is a meta mech. It's just going to be used a bit less, but I still think long range daze, taking an enemy fully out of the game for that long, is still super strong. I think it's still a meta mech, but below Deathwalker. Next up is Killshot. This is one of the most iconic mechs in Mech Arena. Killshot has the melee dash. It's a scout mech, so the dash is a very strong ability. This mech has high speed, but where it really struggles now is where the dash does good damage, but it hits mod layers most of the time, and then this thing is super squishy, so it dies when it's in melee range. Killshot, sadly, just against mods, Killshot is not very strong. The dash is a very powerful ability, so it's good to use this with artillery or guided if you want to camp in the back and run around. You can reposition really quickly, but I think Killshot is only good for probably the mid game. I wouldn't even say it's playable at end game. It dies way too quickly to Revokers and Stormax and all the meta mechs. It's just too weak and has no defense really. Next up is Lancer, another iconic mech. This is the second mech you get. It is a common scout, but it is actually very strong because once you get on the roof with Lancer, Lancer is really powerful because it can nothing can reach it when it gets on the roof, right? And you'll see coming up with Lacewing, the legendary jumping mech, right? Jumping mechs are actually really powerful. Would I say it's playable at endgame though? I'm gonna say it's playable for now. Well, no, okay. The reason it's not it's really not because it has light energy capacity. That's why. But I'll just put it top of mid game. This is probably the best investment, right? It's literally a common mech, so it's super cheap. But it's really fun and then also really strong if you're on a map that has any roofs to jump onto. Next up is MD, the original healer. It's an uncommon support mech with healing. Sadly, MD is not very powerful, though. It is uncommon, so it has low HP. Its speed is okay. The healing isn't even that fast, again, because it's uncommon. And then, it also doesn't heal when it's getting shot, which is kind of silly, so it just doesn't work that great. For fun, if you're in early game, it's okay. I would just leave it in early game, though, even below Ares. It's not really worth investing into unless you just want it for fun. Next up is Mimicker. Mimicker is a very interesting one. Mimicker is a legendary scout mech. It has good speed, of course. It has very low HP. It is a scout, right? Its ability lets it select enemies. It like scans enemies and then gets it can get a speed boost with stealth. It can get damage boost. It can get a shield. It can get healing. So it is very versatile. That's kind of the point. It's a very interesting mech. I'm a fan of Mimicker, but I think it's only playable at endgame. It's not too bad, but it's nothing crazy. It does have heavy energy capacity, but it doesn't have any real defense as its main downside. Once, meta mechs get to you, you're just going to die with it. It probably works best camping at range is usually how you can play it, because then you can use shields and healing to refresh yourself, get a damage boost when you need, use stealth and speed to, move around, but it can't brawl, so it's not terribly powerful. Next up is Bastion, a legendary tank mech. Bastion used to be the best in the game, but sadly its ability, it has a shield, which when enemies break the shield, they get stunned, but they have to be super close, and since it's a tank, it's very slow. It doesn't have any speed boost or anything, so sadly it's just really hard for Bastion to get in range of, like, enemies now. So I think Bastion is it's not very good anymore, right? It's not tanky. It has the highest HP in the game, but it's not tanky enough to, like, slowly approach people and then stun them. Usually, like, storms or whatever can crack the shield before it gets to you, and then it's kind of just a sitting duck. It has high HP. It can beat Revoker scouts if they come and brawl it one-on-one, but if anyone's camping and just, like, spamming it with Storm Axe or something, it's just gonna die. So I would say Bastion's probably, like, here or so. It's not very good. Sadly, I do like Bastion, but it's not very powerful anymore. Next up is Onyx. Onyx is a legendary attacker mech, similar to Gatecrasher, has a damage dealing ability. It is slower, it has lower HP, so its stats are not great. It's very slow. Its quad rocket is okay, but a lot of the time you're going to hit mods with it. You can deal back damage, and it can do pretty good damage. It's kind of like Dreadnought and this both have, like, kind of the highest ability damage, I guess, in Cheetah too. But it's because these guys can do back damage, so they do, like, almost 200,000. But most of the time you're going to just hit a mod shield. So this guy's not very good at all. I might even put him down in mid game. His ability's a little better than Gatecrasher, but Gatecrasher has the better stats. There's not really much reason to invest into Onyx unless you just like the mech, because its ability just doesn't help, and it has not great stats. The only thing it's really good for is just firepower, which, right now in the game, having heavy energy capacity doesn't make you that strong. I mean, our top meta mech right now also has that, and it respawns and can tank a ton of damage. This guy just has no defense, anything like that. Next up is Orion. Orion is a epic support mech with the Hunter's Mark. So you mark an enemy, and then they take a ton of damage. They take, technically, it's back damage plus 50% more damage. So Galvanic Hull will absorb all that bonus damage. But other than that, enemies, basically everyone just gets deleted by Orion instantly. It's the highest, like, damage output in the game. It has good speed. It's low HP, but that's okay, because again, you're going to be deleting things, and with good speed, this guy goes into the strong tier, I think. Both of these are pretty close in strength, but I would say Orion's probably more used in endgame. It's definitely viable, and because it's epic, both of these are epic. They're very good investments, right? For a lot of players. But yeah, Orion's very strong, and it's mainly countered by Eclipse, Surge, Nomad. It is countered by the meta, but if it can hit them, while they're still far away, right, it's gonna destroy them. Next up is Blockhorn. This is a legendary tank mech with the barricade ability, so it puts out a barricade that nobody can walk through, so you can fully block enemies, which is cool. It can't be destroyed, but it also gives this mech a damage boost if it's, like, right behind the blockade. So it also has 32 energy capacity. It is a tank mech, so it's slow, but it has pretty good HP, so it's decently tanky. If you get the shield in front of the enemies, right, you're gonna be fine. Things like stuns can't go through the shield, so it is definitely actually pretty strong. This mech is definitely underrated probably right now. I'd probably put it right here, probably above Orion, because it is very strong. If you get in the right position, you can deal a lot of damage with damage boost, heavy energy capacity, and it's hard for enemies to get to you and destroy you. If it gets stunned or anything, or Revokers get up to it, it's gonna die. But other than that, it can do a lot of work and a lot of damage, get some kills. Next up is Outlaw. Outlaw is a legendary support mech, legendary attacker mech, I think. I don't know. But Outlaw has the, like, long range system crash, so it's like Guardian, where it turns off abilities and reloads the weapons, but it can do it from range. It has to lock on, so it has to see the mech It can do it in a little radius, but generally it's going to hit one guy, and it does have a delay. So the main use of using this guy is to get rid of Deathwalkers, because when their ability goes off, Deathwalker becomes a sitting duck. Deathwalker always plays aggressive. It turns on its ability, rushes in, because if it dies, it's going to go back, right? But if Outlaw can hit it, then you can delete the Deathwalker very easily. Same with Parasite, which is another mech we have coming up. But yeah, I would put Outlaw here in strong. It's basically just used to counter a couple certain things. Maybe an Orion camping in the back, maybe a Hemlock camping in the back, but mainly Deathwalker. Sometimes Parasite, but mainly just Deathwalker. Deathwalker is so strong that it makes this mech good. It's just kind of, you want to put it in as kind of some tech in your squad, just to help out your teammates or whatever. But yeah, I would put him probably here. He's in the strong tier though. Next up is Panther. Panther is a legendary attacker mech, very iconic. 32 energy capacity, it has okay speed, and it is very squishy, super squishy, just like Killshot. It dies almost instantly, right? Panther's basically a glass cannon. It has the stasis barrier, so it puts down a barrier that blocks all incoming damage for 10 seconds. So once it does that, it can sit out in the open, fire with 32 energy capacity weapons. Very strong. It can have high damage output, but the problem is that it is countered by all these Revoker Scouts. Surge can dash and stun it. Nomad can dash in and kill it. Eclipse can walk through because it has Stasis Barrier, which applies stasis, so it slows down enemies that come through. But dashes keep going through. Eclipse can run through. The new mech, Blizzfrost, can run through, right? That thing is immune to stasis. So I would say Panther is playable. Pretty high in the playable tier. It's not bad at all. And for an epic mech, yeah, this is pretty good. Obviously, we have a couple up in strong, but it's definitely playable. You can use it in endgame. Next up is Paragon, the starter mech. This is a common attacker, 32 energy capacity. It doesn't have good speed, and obviously it's common, so it's super squishy. Dies almost instantly, but it does have 32 energy capacity, and its ability is just a speed boost. So then you can have some, when you need to move quick, you can move quick. I would just keep this in early game though. It's fine how it is. It does have good energy capacity, but other than that, that's basically the only thing. You're just going to use this to have damage output, so that's fine, but it's nothing crazy. Next up is Parasite, another spider mech. It is a legendary tank with 24 energy capacity, and it's pretty slow. I think 18 kilometers an hour of speed, maybe 20. So it's pretty slow because it is a tank. It has good HP, and its ability is redirection, so it can link to an enemy when it gets line of sight with an enemy within 85 meters, I think, at base. There's an implant to increase that. But once you're linked, you take only 10% damage dealt, and you reflect like 30% back to the guy you're linked to. So basically, once you're linked, nobody wants to shoot you. However, this guy's weakness is that he's so slow. He has no way to speed up. Unlike Deathwalker, these are kind of comparable mechs. They're both legendary tanks. So he can tank a ton of damage, but once the link runs out, or if he can't link to, say, like an Eclipse, he's just cooked, because then it's just like Deathwalker. He's a sitting duck. Same thing if he gets crashed. He needs his ability to be tanky, and otherwise he's going to be cooked. But certain situations, you can corner people and they can't do anything, because if you're linked, you barely take damage and you deal a ton back. So they're going to take a ton of damage. You can trick players sometimes. If they're about to, hit you with their salvo, then link to someone or link to them, you can deal all the damage back to them and take almost none of it. So absolutely a playable mech. I would put it here at the top of strong of our A tier. Yeah, this looks good. Next up is Puma. This is a uncommon attacker, basically the mini version of Panther here. So Puma has the lowest HP in the game with Slingshot, super squishy. 32 energy capacity with kind of a barrier, kind of like Panther. It's just a barrier. It doesn't have stasis, and it's like shorter, and it's pretty weak and can take a couple hits maybe. This mech's only really good for the early game though, but it does have firepower, so I'll put it above Paragon because its shield is better than the speed boost, but its HP is actually lower. So yeah, don't invest into Puma. It's not very good. Next up is Redeemer. This is a fan favorite. Redeemer is a epic scout mech with 29 kilometers an hour of speed. No dash though, but we have the backtrack. So you run back, you remove effects. Depending on your rank, you remove a certain amount of effects. If you're maxed out, you can remove all effects within the entire game except System Crash, because that removes your ability. Other than that, you can run away. You go back to where you were 10 seconds ago. Even if you're EMP'd and stuff, it's very good for countering things like Surge. And it has medium energy capacity, so not crazy firepower, but definitely a strong mech. I think I'll put it in strong, probably near the bottom. This is a fan favorite, but you can definitely play this in the end game. And again, it's another epic mech that's definitely worth investing into if you want. It's strong, and it works kind of as a backup Eclipse, which is another mech we're gonna have soon. You need to be able to remove debuffs. You can spawn your Redeemer. That will work for you, right? Against Hemlocks, against Surges, whatever it is, right? It's just squishy, so if it gets caught out without its ability or with nowhere to run away to, it is gonna get cooked pretty quickly. Next up is Redox. This is a legendary attacker mech, one of the OG legendary mechs. Redox is very slow. It is very squishy. It has 32 energy capacity, so it's kind of a glass cannon, but its ability isn't great. It is it's the caustic blast, so it sends out like a 30-meter pulse that gives stasis, so slows down enemies, and then also does a DOT what is it, corrosion effect. It's not a ton of damage, but in certain situations, if you can get hidden in a little corner somewhere and then keep using caustic blast to slow people down, you can then delete them when they try to run to you. But of course, things like Surge, Eclipse, Nomad all do meta things. If anyone gets to you with Revokers, you're just cooked. I think it's probably barely playable. Its ability isn't that bad, but the stats are too bad to go along with it. It's just too slow. It's just too squishy. I think I'd rather. I don't know, man. This might be a mid-game mech. I'll put it top of mid-game for now. Next up is Nomad. This is the legendary dash mech, legendary scout, 29 kilometers an hour of speed. Pretty low HP for a legendary mech, but still not bad. It has the chain dash, so it dashes, does damage just like Killshot, but it also gains 60% damage resistance, so it becomes a tank right after it dashes. It's a great brawler, and then it can also dash a second time if you hit someone, so it is very strong. It's great for countering Eclipse, but gets destroyed by Surge. It's very polarizing, its matchups, right? It always can beat Eclipses, which are very strong, and it always gets destroyed by Surge, which are very strong. So you kind of have to watch out. It is a meta mech. I'm going to put it, man, I don't know. I think it's below Hemlock because it's pretty niche. It's mainly you're going to want to use this guy either to start out to capture beacons or to kill Eclipses. That's pretty much it. But yeah, definitely strong. It can definitely get like some combo kills, and it can really disrupt like the enemy backlines because it can like dash in. It dashes in twice with a long dash. Its dash is 45 meters. But yeah, watch out for nerfs with any of these meta mechs. Obviously Hemlock won't get another one, but this could get nerfed. I don't think it will. I think Nomad's fine. But yeah, definitely a meta mech. Next up is Salvor. This is an interesting one. This is a legendary support mech. It's the healer mech, so it is extremely squishy, least HP of any legendary, I believe. It does have 32 energy capacity, and its speed is just okay. It's so squishy. Basically, the thing with this guy is it relies on teammates, because it heals itself a bit, but it heals teammates a lot more. If you have teammates to heal that need healing, and you can help them, then this mech is pretty strong, but otherwise, by itself, solo, it's not very good. So I'll just put it in the bottom of strong. Basically, if you're with teammates, it can be strong, but otherwise it's, like, playable, if that makes sense. Next up is Scorpius. This is a legendary attacker mech, another spider. Scorpius has 32 energy capacity. It is slow and squishy, which is not good. It has the Javelin array, which is basically just a mini, like, Javelin 6 or Helix 8 or something like that. Just shoots two little, like, Javelin-like shots. It's not very strong. The only thing it can do is, like, camp in the back with a little bit extra artillery from its ability. Man, this is probably a mid-game mech. Scorpius is not very good at all. It's faster than Onyx, so I think I'd put it above Onyx, but it's basically just a glass cannon with no defense. Like, Panther has defense, so it's much higher in the tier list. This has no defense. It can't live. If anything tries to attack it, it's probably just gonna die. Next up is Seeker. Seeker is a legendary attacker. It has the warp, so it can warp right behind an enemy with boosted damage and another personal shield. It has medium energy capacity and decent speed. It doesn't really need that much speed, though, because, it's going to warp. It can warp at 100 meters away or even more with implants, so it warps very far. This mech is very situational. I do think it's in the strong tier, right? You basically just want to use it in certain like situations. But now with mods, it used to be able to like insta-kill everything. So it was like the best mech in the game. But now with mods, it's not as OP because stuff doesn't die as quick. You get destroyed by Surge, by EMPs, you're going to get countered, right? So Surge is strong, but just not like crazy. Next up is Sentinel. This is an epic tank mech. It's basically just Ares, but the epic version, so it has more HP, a better shield. It has this little perk where it will refresh its shield quicker if it's taken damage when it's maxed out, but that only happens when you're maxed, which is kind of sad. I wish they would buff it so it's always. That makes it like slightly better, but at endgame, this thing just gets deleted, and it's not even tanky now. It's not really that tanky, so it can't absorb that much damage. So I'd say this is maybe okay in the mid game. Honestly, I'd probably rather use Lancer than Sentinel. Sentinel's not very good. It's a cool mech, but it's sadly just not very strong. Next up is Shadow. This is a rare scout mech. Shadow is like kind of like Eclipse, so it turns on stealth and can run around quickly and attack people. But sadly, it has low energy capacity, only 16 at max level. It is rare, so you can upgrade it to max kind of easily. But at endgame, this thing gets deleted by storms, by radius, right? It gets deleted by revokers. It's just gonna get deleted because it's super squishy. The only thing you could do basically is just kind of trick enemies, run around quickly. It's a fun mech, but it's not very good at all. I mean, I guess we could put it, let's see, the Killshot should be above Sentinel. I guess we can put it maybe in mid game. It's like barely a mid game mech. This thing's pretty much only use it for fun. Next up is Lacewing. This is the legendary version of Lancer, so it has 2 jumps, unlike Lancer, who has 1. Medium energy capacity, pretty low. It's a scout, so it has pretty low HP, but yeah, its speed is like decent, like its movement speed, but its jumps are really what's important, so the movement speed doesn't matter that much. Basically, again, like with Lancer, jump onto the roof, and then nobody can get to you, or most mechs can't get to you, right? And you can counter a lot of things. You counter the Revokers, which is the most important part. So on any map where you can go on a roof, Lacewing is very strong. So Lacewing is a meta mech, and it is above these two. That's how strong Lacewing is. It's super strong. Unless it gets nerfed, this thing is super powerful. Going on the roof is just such a strong ability to have. Next up is Slingshot. This is the uncommon version of Killshot Nomad, so it's also a dash mech. It is, again, it's uncommon, so it's super squishy. It has the lowest HP tied with Puma. The dash ability is so strong, though. It has medium energy capacity, high movement speed. So I think it's probably like, it's like just below Killshot. Because the dash is just so good. I think it's better than these guys. It dies instantly, but because you have a dash, you can move around and run away faster than anything else, right? Killshot's just more HP, pretty much is it, right? They have the same energy capacity, so these guys are almost tied. Killshot's just barely better. That's kind of sad. Next up is Solis. Solis is a legendary support mech with the blinding. It shoots out these like orbs that blind people, so their screen goes white. They can't see anything. They can still move, they can still use abilities, they can still shoot, they just can't see what's going on. So if you can hit them at long range with this blind, right, it kind of stops them. But, otherwise, if they're close, they're still going to get to you with Revokers. Storms have splash damage, so they can't really miss. It is squishy, because it's a support, and it's pretty slow. It has heavy energy capacity, so that's nice, but if this guy, like, he's only very good when he's, at longer range. Once people get close to him, he's going to get cooked by them. So you want to use something that's like a long range weapon. I'll put it in strong tier though. It's not bad, but it's not used very much just because it's like a wannabe EMP, right? It's like a wannabe Hemlock. Hemlock actually stops the enemy from moving. This thing just stops them, like tries to stop them by blinding them and making their screen go white for like 2 seconds, right? Yeah, sometimes it works, but it's not like crazy. But it's probably in the strong tier still, yeah. Next up is Stalker. Stalker is a rare attacker mech with 24 energy capacity, pretty low HP because, again, it's an attacker. It does have good speed for an attacker, I think 23 kph, but this thing has the Predator drive, so it boosts its damage by 50%. It heals on kill, but it does take more damage, so it's pretty squishy. It's really squishy when it goes into that ability, but it can do crazy damage. You can also buy an implant to boost the damage of the damage boost more, so you get like up to 80% damage boost, which is good, but you'd probably rather use something like Orion. So this guy's okay for mid game. Probably right here, below the dash. Maybe I'll put him in between. There we go. He can go in between the 2 dashers, so he's just okay for mid game. Not very strong. Next up is Surge. Surge is a very, very notorious mech for a reason. It is very strong. It has a dash, but instead of just doing damage, it actually stuns the enemy, and it does it for 4 seconds, so you can, move around behind them, do back damage. You kill basically anything in the game if you can stun them with your Surge. It's so strong. A ranged dash where you can get close with Revokers is just so strong. Surge is a meta mech, and it's stronger than any of these. It's going to get nerfed, though, so just keep that in mind. When you're watching this after this, Surge could be... I hope that they're trying to nerf stuff so it's not super weak, so I think it'll still be meta. It'll just be, like, down here. It'll be, like, here. Literally, that's probably what the nerf will do. Maybe it could go only into strong tier. I don't know. We'll see. Next up is Tengu. Tengu is a fan favorite once again. Tengu is a rare scout with 16 energy capacity, but it has the jump, I don't know what it's called, the smash or something, where it jumps, it deals damage, it applies stasis, and it gives itself stealth. It has a short cooldown, and because it has stasis, you can have like almost permanent stealth and permanent stasis. So you jump on people, stasis them, then you run around behind them so they can't fire back. So even though it has low energy capacity, it can be pretty good. And I'm a Tengu fan, so I might be a bit biased, but I would put Tengu in playable. I think it's playable at endgame. It's not that bad. Because it has stealth, that's its defense, and then in a brawl, if it's not against Eclipse, it can stasis, I guess Blizzfrost too, it can stasis like those mechs, right? Next up is Silverthorn. This is one of the newest mechs in the game. It is a legendary attacker. It has good speed, like 23, I think. It has pretty good HP as well. It has heavy energy capacity. It has the Blade Burst ability. The problem with this mech is just the ability's really bad. It's kind of like Gatecrasher, kind of like Onyx, kind of like Scorpius, even Redox. All of these are like these attackers with high, high energy capacity, but their abilities aren't good enough. It shoots these blades that do damage. They apply this effect that does like a bit of bonus damage after if you shoot them. It's like a kind of basically a DOT. If you fire at them, you get some DOT. It's not much DOT though. It locks enemies down, but only if you don't hit mods with the ability. So that's the problem. If this slowed them down, it not locks them down. Sorry, it slows them down. I think it just gives them stasis. So this wouldn't work on Eclipse. But this thing does have better stats, so I'm gonna put it just one above Gatecrasher. It does have better stats than Gatecrasher, and its ability is probably better because if the enemy doesn't have mod shields left, you can slow them down, which is much, much better than this. Because it needs to slow them down to have it. That's its only defense. Otherwise, it's just going to get destroyed by Revoker scouts and stuff. If it could slow them down, stop them in their tracks, and then hit them with 32 energy capacity, you could, delete them, and you have your ability damage helping you out, right? But right now, it can't do that because for whatever reason, this thing doesn't bypass mods, which is silly. They should change that, but they haven't yet, so this mech is not very good at all. Barely playable. Next is Volti. This is another pretty new mech. It is a legendary attacker as well. Volti has, I don't know, like 20 kilometers an hour speed, heavy energy capacity, I think decent HP too. It has decent stats. Volti has the, I don't even know what it's called. It's the long range, it's like the EMP drone. Or not EMP, like electric drone, something drone. But it teleports a drone above the enemy's head that does damage over time through walls at long range. It's a very strong ability in theory. It doesn't do crazy damage, but it's definitely not bad. I'd probably put it right here in between Guardian and Volti. Its ability's not bad. And Mimicker. Volti's not bad. Definitely can be played. It's better, though, like in early game. But I think it's still playable at end game, I would say, yeah. Next up is the mech you've all been waiting for, Eclipse. Eclipse is very strong. Eclipse has medium energy capacity, good speed. It's very low HP for a legendary mech because it's a scout mech, but it has the phase cloak where it ignores all debuffs, speeds up, and gains stealth, so it can't be hit by guided weapons. It can't be hit by guided abilities like Outlaw's System Crash. It's fast, so it can get up close with Revoker. It works with almost any weapon. It counters so many things in the game except a mech we're about to get to, right? The new mech does counter this thing to some extent. Eclipse is meta. I think you all know this. I think, okay, we know Eclipse and Surge are going to get nerfed. For now, I'm just going to put Eclipse as top. This is the best mech right now. When I'm making this list, this is the best mech. Just a little bit better than Surge, but we'll see. After the nerfs, could change. Or after Blizzfrost, you know what, let's just jump to it. Blizzfrost, next mech. This is the newest mech, and it does work. Somehow, its ability, which is a status effect, works on Eclipse. Basically, this mech is only good for countering Eclipse. Like, it's okay. It's a scout with resistance. It gets resistance when it uses its ability. It freezes enemies so they can't move. It's not EMP, so they can keep shooting and use abilities, but they can't jump away, dash away, or walk away. They can't move at all. And then he has medium energy capacity. He has good speed. He speeds up during his ability. So he's good, but he gets countered by Lacewing, he gets countered by Hemlock, he gets countered by Deathwalker, he gets countered by Surge. All these things are stronger than him, right? If he gets stunned, he's dead. If he gets attacked by Deathwalker, he can't, recover. He only has medium energy capacity. He can't destroy things that quickly. He doesn't have, like, high damage output. But he does counter Eclipse because he can lock down Eclipse and then turns on resistance, which means he will brawl Eclipse and win. So, this is new. My placement for this might change. I think right now it's only strong. Probably here, though. It's not bad because it can counter Eclipse again. Eclipse is going to get nerfed, so who knows how strong this will be. Because if Eclipse gets nerfed bad, it's worse. This guy probably goes down. The stocks for Blizzfrost probably go down, if that makes sense. But for now, Blizzfrost is basically good as a counter for Eclipse. Next up is Vortex. Vortex is a legendary tank mech, one of my favorite mechs. I love my Vortex. It turns on a ability where it basically gets like a speed boost. It gets a speed boost. It gets 50% damage resistance. This is a tank mech, so normally it's slow, but with the speed boost, it becomes very quick. It's a tank, so again, it also has high HP, which means with the resistance stacking, with the speed, it's very powerful during its ability. During its ability, basically, it's just like stun from Surge or Hemlock. And even then, like a Surge can't kill you with Revoker. If you have your ability on, that's how tanky this guy is. He is the second highest HP just after Bastion, but then with a 50% damage resistance, he's super tanky. Now, he can't always kill a Surge, but he can survive a Surge, which is nice. The problem is that his cooldown is so long, his duration is short, so the window where he's strong is short. It's a little too short. Like, Blizzfrost they have similar abilities, right? They both activate speed and resistance. Blizzfrost is in resistance more of the time and can cycle quicker. Its cooldown is shorter. Its duration is shorter too. But when it needs the resistance and speed, it has it more of the time than Vortex does. So Vortex is is strong, I think. Is it better than... Yeah, I think it is. Alright, I'm going to put... I want these tiers to be balanced, so I'm going to put Salvor here. Salvor basically is... It depends on if you have teammates again, right? But I think Vortex is barely strong. I'm a little biased, maybe Dreadnought. I'm going to leave it like this for now. I might rearrange at the end, but we have one more mech to go, so let's finish the last mech, which is Zephyr. Zephyr is a epic support mech with the EMP pulse. Zephyr's slow. Zephyr is squishy. It doesn't have high HP. It has medium energy capacity, so the stats of this mech are not good, but it does have a stun. Stun is a very powerful ability, 30-meter range stun. It's hard to get kills, though, because the stun is short. It's only 3 seconds, and you're slow, so it takes you a long time to get to the enemy. That's the difference between it and Surge. Surge dashes, then applies a 4-second EMP, so it's close and can hit them with the Revoker, right? Zephyr stuns them, but then has to run over to them, and it's slow, doesn't have a dash, and it's only a 3-second EMP. So Zephyr is sadly not as strong as it used to have a 6-second one, which was very annoying, but Zephyr was a lot better back then. I think Zephyr is definitely mid-game, though. Man, I don't know. Zephyr could be better than these guys. Zephyr's not bad. Zephyr's not that bad. Better than Gatecrasher? Maybe so. Maybe it's right here. Because, again, the stun is super good. Is it playable at endgame? No, it's not playable at endgame. Alright, you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to put Lancer. Very bottom of playable at endgame. That's what it's going to be. And then Zephyr's going to be top of mid-game. And then we're going to knock one of these down. I think Shadow's going to have to take the hit, and it's going to go down here. Okay, so I'm going to make some changes and then show you guys my finalists. This is after the first nerfs we had and before any of the other 3 were announced. And then this is like, what, like 4 days? I'm making this after Blizzfrost it was introduced. So, yeah, this one is, I just can't know that much yet because it's just so new. But I'll come back to you guys in just a second and show you my final tier list. Okay, so I've made some changes. You guys can see them all here. I think I moved Aegis up, and I moved Dreadnought up to here. I moved Solis and Salvor down here. Again, Salvor, it just depends on your teammates, right? Solis just doesn't work that great. I think Vortex might be a little high, but I just love my Vortex. I think it's better than Dreadnought. I'd rather use it than Dreadnought. I moved Tengu down a bit. Silverthorn's up. Let's see. I changed out. I put Brickhouse was in please buff in the, what is this, D tier? It is for credits. This isn't about the value of the mech, but it is for credits, so it's not bad to use it. It's not very good though. Obviously, it's just barely in mid game. I moved Cheetah down. It's not quite good enough. I think Sentinel's a little better than Cheetah. The dash mechs are still here. I think Zephyr. Let's see. I kept this the same. I like to keep the meta very small. Right. This is the real meta in my opinion. These mechs are the ones that I see played the most by a long shot in, like, for meta players. It's these 6 and nothing else. Nothing else goes in meta in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure this is the order. You could say to reorder this. Like, you could say Deathwalker's stronger or whatever, but it doesn't matter that much. Basically, if you're going for the strongest hanger, get these mechs, or at least these mechs. And when you're in early game, right, for free-to-play mechs, you're going to go for Orion, Aegis, and then Surge and Eclipse. Yeah, pretty simple. But there you go, that is my final tier list. Drop a like, subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.